do extended child's pose with knees wide and with a blanket roll at the hip crease. So take your blanket and roll it up, and then pull the blanket roll into your hip crease and lift your belly up and over the blanket roll. Put your hands on blocks and start to extend your arms, extend your armpits, pull your outer hips back and down, and come into this extended child. Press the blocks forward, widen your hands and press your handprints into the blocks and keep those arms extended. Keep the sides of your waist extended and feel the pressure of the blanket going into the low belly. So the belly is receding back towards the lumbar spine, which is rounding gently. So the lumbar area becomes spacious and long and broad. Breathe here and let your forehead rest down. Be long in the front of the thoracic spine, even though the belly is receding back. Soft belly receding back. So let the belly receive the blanket roll. And then start to come up out of the pose. Next we'll do extended child's pose without the blanket roll in the hip crease, but we'll remember the blanket roll. So bring your knees wide, big toes touching, pull your hips back and down, and stretch your hands and arms forward. Be very active and extended here in your trunk. Keep the elbows lifting, forearms lifting. Press the inner hands down into the mat and pull your outer hips back and down. And now lift your trunk and pull your bottom front ribs forward to lengthen your belly. And as you release your head down and go deeper in the pose, remember the imprint of that blanket roll in the hip crease. So the belly is not going down towards the mat, but rather the soft, long belly is receiving the imprint of the blanket roll, and the belly is receding back towards the lumbar, so the lumbar can have a gentle rounding. Pull the upper buttocks back. Pull the buttocks back and down. Be long through the front of the thoracic spine. Keep the arms active, armpits long. Pull the hips back as much as you reach the arms and rib cage forward. Let the belly recede and soften back towards the anterior spine. Smooth breathing here. And then inhale up to hands and knees to come out of the pose. And now we'll do downward facing dog with a chair at the wall. So bring your sticky mat to the wall and place the back of the chair against the wall. Put your hands on the seat of the chair and step your feet back into a down dog position. Bend your knees at first and lift your hips way up and back. Start to pull the tops of your thighs way back. Lift the fronts of your legs as much as you lift the backs of your legs. And pull the back surface of your sacrum away from the chair. Pull the upper buttocks away from the push of the hands. The hands are pushing forward and down into the front edge of the seat of the chair. And pull your pelvis back away from the seat of the chair. Pull your outer hips back and let your abdomen, your belly, recede towards the anterior surface of the lumbar spine. Be long and spacious in your belly. Let the back layers of the belly, the deep layers of the belly, move towards the lumbar. And then pull the buttocks back away from the chair seat. Lengthen through the arms. Be strong in your legs. Press the feet down and lift the musculature of the legs up from ankles to knees to hips and then pull the outer hips back as much as the inner thighs pull back. Stay active here. Smooth, steady breath. And then step one foot forward and the other foot forward. Now we'll practice Uttanasana with a block between the upper inner thighs. So place a block way up high in the thighs. Have your feet right underneath your sitting bones. Bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen the side ribs. Let the shoulders move back. Elbows back. Inhale and lift the front of your spine, and then exhale and fold over your legs. Fingertips coming down onto the mat. And start to squeeze the block with your outer thighs. So the outer thighs squeeze into the inner thighs, into the block. Connect the outer body towards the midline. So the squeezing of the legs from outer to inner is an expression of the outer body hugging the midline. Let your legs be tall and active and squeezing in, and then let this help you release your spine more, relaxing and releasing the spine down and forward like a waterfall, flowing out of the pelvis and down towards the top of the head. So the head is relaxed. Let your abdomen recede back. Let there be a gentle roundness in the lumbar. Let your rib cage be heavy, the front side of the rib cage, the back side. And then bring your hands to your hips. Reach the chest forward, shoulders back, and come up. As you're here now, maintain that squeezing of the outer thighs in. Now we'll practice Tadasana. Bring your legs underneath you, your feet underneath your sitting bones. Feet can be together or a little apart, and then bend your knees and sink down into your feet. Relax your body, and then as you straighten the legs, lift the shoulders way up towards the ears. Get tall in the sides of your body, and then take the shoulders back towards the back of the shoulder sockets. So the heads of the humerus bones are hugging the back of the shoulder sockets. You can bend your elbows for a moment, and then straighten the arms and straighten the legs, and pull the shoulders, the shoulder blades, and the arms down as you get taller through the trunk, taller through the rib cage. So as the heads of the humerus, arms, and shoulder blades pull down, the side ribs go up, and there's an ascension through the inner body, an ascension of the spine from bottom to top. Thighs are internally rotating, outer thighs squeezing in. Be long in your belly, lift the belly, and breathe. Now we'll practice Urdhva Hastasana. Feet parallel, lift your arms. Breathe here as you find your legs and arms fully extending. Be very active in your limbs. Lift the low belly, lift the spine from bottom to top. Let the front waist move to the back waist. Let the thighs move back, and let the upper buttocks relax and release down. Press the feet down, lengthen up through the legs. Squeeze your outer thighs and outer hips together. Let the back of the abdomen settle back, and lift the rib cage, lift the back ribs especially, and then reach the arms further back. Lift the arms right out of the legs. And then exhale and lower your arms down. We'll practice Padanguliasana. So interlace your fingers, legs are in Tadasana, and press your palms forward with fingers interlaced. And then as you lift the arms up, keep the waist settling back towards the back body. So you don't want to let the belly swing forward as the arms go back. Keep the abdomen settling back. Keep the thighs pulling back, especially the tops of the thighs. Keep the buttocks relaxing from bottom to top as you stretch the arms up And then take the arms further back as you press the shoulder blades forward into the rib cage. And become longer here. Feet grounding, hands pressing to the sky. Make more space between your hands and your feet and let the abdomen settle back into that space. And then exhale and bring your arms down. Switch the interlace of the fingers. Press your palms forward, straighten the elbows. Pull the elbows closer together as you reach the arms up and overhead. As the arms pull back, let the waist pull back, let the thighs pull back. Be rooted in your feet. Be active in the musculature of your legs. Pull the arms up out of the sides of your waist. Be firm and steady here. Find the earth element in your body here. Firm, outer body pulling into the midline, outer arms into the midline, outer thighs into the midline. And then exhale and lower your arms down and release the interlace of the fingers. Now we'll practice Garudasana. Bring your feet together. Be in Tadasana. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up. Keep the waist settling back. Be long in your trunk. And then exhale and bend your knees and sit your hips back and down for Utkatasana. And then swing the right arm under the left arm. Bring all your weight onto the left foot, left leg. Lift the right thigh up and cross your right thigh over the left thigh, high up on the thighs. You can wrap your right foot around the left calf if that's available to you. And then we'll do a curl here in this version of Garudasana. So start to pull the abdomen back to encourage a nice rounding of the lumbar. And it's not a contraction, it's a soft receding of the lower belly, moving back towards the spine. Round yourself and let your forearms go down. Bend both knees. Let all of your weight be pouring into that left foot so you're nice and steady there and heavy in that standing leg. And then sink your hips down as you start to lift the spine up again, lifting the elbows and the forearms long through the fingers. And then swing yourself out of the pose, both feet down, even stance here. And then swing your arms up again and pull the inner thighs, pubic bone, outer hips back and down. And swing your left arm under the right. Swing your left thigh over the right thigh and hook the foot around if you can. Let the long, low belly recede gently back towards the spine to encourage a nice rounded position in the spine here. A soft rounding as the forearms drop down. Soft, long belly receding. Be strong in your legs here, bending the knees more. Breathe smoothly here as you balance. And then find an earthiness in the legs. And from a deep internal place, start to lengthen yourself back up, lifting the elbows, lifting the sides of your rib cage, sinking down into the right foot. And then release yourself out of the balance, stand on 2 feet, and recover with an open chest here. Now we'll repeat Uttanasana. We'll do it without a block this time. Hands on outer hips, shoulders back, elbows back, long waist, abdomen soft and receding and long. Inhale and lift your spine, open the collarbones, and then exhale, pull your outer hips towards each other as you fold yourself down. See if you can really connect to this action of the outer hips gathering in, and pull the fronts of your thighs up so much that the fronts of your legs feel even longer than the backs of your legs. The sitting bones can even move towards each other slightly And then release the back of your rib cage down. Let the head relax and release down. Pull those bottom front ribs down towards the toenails. So the abdomen is very long here. The legs are very active. Feet are open, toes are spreading. Draw up through the legs muscularly. And don't lift your sitting bones too much. Instead, lift the fronts of the thighs more. Breathing here as you go deeper into the pose. Stay very active here. Outer thighs squeezing in, outer hips squeezing in. Bring your hands to your hips now, shoulders back, chest forward, and come up. Stay long in your waist as you recover here. Standing right over your arches. Now lay down on your back, please, and we'll do some core work. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Breathe into your rib cage. And exhale, a deep contraction, pulling the belly back towards the back body, contracting the psoas as you do a gentle tuck with your pelvis so that you can increase the contraction as you finish the exhalation. As you inhale, bring your pelvis to neutral, lengthen your spine, open your rib cage, breathe into your rib cage, and exhale, a deep contraction, pulling the belly back towards the back body, contracting the psoas as you do a gentle tuck with your pelvis so that you can increase the contraction as you finish the exhalation. As you inhale, bring your pelvis to neutral, lengthen your spine, open your rib cage, breathe into your rib cage, and exhale, a deep contraction, pulling the belly back towards the back body, contracting the psoas as you do a gentle tuck with your pelvis so that you can increase the contraction as you finish the exhalation. As you inhale, bring your pelvis to neutral, lengthen your spine, open your rib cage, tuck the pelvis, bring the low back to the floor. Do that from the back of the belly working. The deepest, lowest part of the belly is pulling down towards the anterior spine, hugging towards it. As you inhale, bring your pelvis to neutral, lengthen your spine, open your rib cage, and exhale, contract the low belly as you tuck the pelvis, bring the low back down onto the mat. Connect your feet to the mat. Keep exhaling as you contract the low belly. And then inhale, come back to neutral, breathing into the whole rib cage, lengthening. And exhale, another deep contraction. Don't push the belly up towards the ceiling or harden it at all in that way. Rather, pull the belly back towards the back body, pulling it, sucking it in that way, and find a deep contraction of the psoas, tucking the pelvis. Complete the exhalation, and then inhale again, lengthening the spine. And one last time, exhale, scoop, contract, tuck, and then inhale, come to neutral again. Relax your belly here. And now grab your block for a core crunch with the block. Place the block between your knees and hands behind your head. Legs and feet are in parallel, pelvis, spine, neutral. Squeeze the block. Inhale, lengthen your spine, open your rib cage. Exhale and scoop the belly. Tuck the pelvis, and as you keep exhaling, lift the shoulder blades up in a gentle crunch as you squeeze the block. Inhale, back down, opening the elbows. Exhale, scoop the belly, tuck the pelvis, lift the shoulder blades for the crunch, squeeze the block. Inhale, back down, opening the elbows. Exhale, scoop, tuck, and lift the shoulder blades, squeezing the knees in. Inhale, lengthen the spine, open the elbows. Exhale, scoop the belly back, tucking the pelvis, lift the shoulder blades up, squeezing. Inhale, lengthen the spine, pelvis neutral. Exhale, deep contraction in the belly, tucking the pelvis, lift those shoulder blades. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lower yourself back down, open the elbows. Exhale, deep contraction, low back comes to the mat, lift the shoulder blades up. Inhale, coming to lay back, open the elbows. Exhale, a deep contraction of the psoas and a tuck and a lift of the shoulder blades. Exhale, a deep contraction in the belly, lower the low back towards the mat and lift the shoulder blades. And again, inhale, lay down, open the elbows, be neutral. Exhale, deep contraction, tuck the pelvis, lift the shoulder blades into a crunch, squeeze the block. Inhale, coming to lay back, open the elbows. Exhale, a deep contraction of the psoas and a tuck and a lift of the shoulder blades. And then inhale, lengthen, neutralize. Open the elbows and recover here. And now reach your heels up to the ceiling, hands behind your head. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, let the belly recede and contract. Lift the shoulder blades, lift the tailbone and the buttocks up, lift the legs up. Keep exhaling. And then inhale, lay back down, lengthen your spine. Exhale, let the belly recede and then lift the shoulder blades and the tailbone up. Inhale, lay back. Exhale, a deep contraction of the belly to lift the shoulder blades and the tailbone straight up, lifting the legs, squeezing the block. Inhale, lay back down, lengthening the spine. Exhale, a deep contraction, lifting the shoulder blades and the tailbone up. Inhale, lengthen the spine again. Exhale, deep contraction, lift the shoulder blades, lift the tailbone as you keep exhaling all the way to the bottom of the breath. Inhale, lay back down, open elbows. Exhale, a deep contraction of the belly, lifting tail, lifting shoulder blades. Keep going one more time. And then exhale, bend your knees, rest your feet down, and recover here. Now we'll practice Ardha Navasana. So lay on your back again, starting with a neutral spine here. Feet flat, knees bent, relaxing. Inhale, lengthen the spine, really being neutral here. And then exhale and find a deep contraction of the low belly. So the low, deep belly pulls back towards the interior spine, tucking the pelvis, and then stretch your legs out at 45 degrees and lift your shoulder blades and arms up. Inhale here and find length in the limbs, activity in the limbs. Exhale and scoop the belly again, thinking of the belly moving towards the back body, contracting there. Inhale, stretch the arms and stretch the legs, roll the thighs in and make your legs longer. Exhale, find a deep contraction. And then inhale, lay back down, bend your knees, feet flat, and recover here. Smooth breath, inhaling and exhaling. And now for Supta Urdhva Hastasana. Make sure that the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from the low back. And then stretch your legs out one at a time and reach your arms up overhead but along the floor. And stretch your whole body out in this manner. Open the feet, open the toes, roll your thighs in and ground your thighs down towards the mat. And pull your rib cage long away from the legs. Lengthen and extend your arms. So pull your legs towards the feet and pull your arms towards the hands, and let your abdomen, let your whole midsection, let your lumbar receive that stretch. Breathing here as you stretch the legs and stretch the sides of your belly, stretch the arms as you lengthen. And then bend your knees and come back to neutral. Now we'll practice belly rolling pose, which is a wonderful, very active twist and a core exercise. Reach your arms out to the sides, stretch the elbows, pull your shoulder blades down your back, and press the backs of your hands into the floor, palms face up, and lift your legs up so they're at 90 degrees. Really active legs. Inhale here, and exhale, lower your legs down halfway towards your right hand, and think of your belly pulling to the left. So the belly recedes and pulls to the left as the legs move to the right. The legs are very even and active. And then inhale back up to center with the legs. And exhale your legs over to the left, towards the left hand. So make sure that your feet are also coming headwards, towards the left and up towards your head. Extending through the legs, pull the belly to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale the legs to the right and the belly recedes and pulls left. Reach the left arm to the left. And inhale all the way back to center with the legs. And exhale, lower your legs over to the left side, towards the left hand. Pull the belly to the right. So the belly recedes and pulls to the right. Pull your right arm to the right. Breathing here, active legs, open feet. Press the backs of the hands into the floor. Inhale your legs up to the center. And then bend your knees and rest your feet down. Breathe deeply here as you recover. And then roll to your side and come on up. Now we'll do a quad stretch with the wall, and you need a blanket and 2 blocks as well. Please fold up the blanket as you see here and place that folded blanket on the sticky mat and against the wall. And then sit on your shins directly in front of that blanket with your back pointing towards the wall. And then have the blocks underneath your hands alongside your body. And inch yourself back so that your feet are up on the blanket and your knees are still on the mat. And then as you see here, place your left shin against the wall so the left knee is on the blanket and the top of your foot is pressing against the wall. And then lean into the blocks with your hands so that you can place your right foot between the blocks. So that front leg is in a front leg lunge position. And start to pull the whole sacrum forward towards the front heel. And kick the top of your back foot into the wall. Make your hips square. Pull the outer right hip back and in. Think of squeezing your hips from the outer to the inner. Gather your hips towards each other and lift your low belly up off of the pelvis. And as you lunge here, think of the front of the pelvis lifting. Think of the kidney area, the back of your rib cage, the lower back ribs lifting and spreading. Bend the front knee, square the hips. Gather the hips, lift the low belly, let the tailbone move in, lift the frontal hips, lengthen the spine. And then move the blocks forward a little bit, bring your front shin down, and then bring your back shin down, and we'll switch sides. Now bring the right knee onto the blanket. Lean into the blocks and step your left foot between the blocks so that left leg is in a front leg lunge position. And kick the top of your back foot into the wall. Pull the outer left hip back and in. Squeeze your outer hips together and lift the low belly. Lift the front of the pelvis. Lengthen all the way through the spine, through the top of the head. Spread the back bottom rib area. Lift the front of the pelvis again, and then sink the tailbone forward and in, deeper into your body, bending that front knee. Enjoy having those blocks to support the hands and the arms, to support your upper body. Again, gather those hips together, square and gather the hips. Low belly lifting, front of the pelvis lifting. Sink deeper into the lunge. And then come out of the pose, bringing the front shin down and then the back shin down. Hands on thighs. Breathe here to recover. Now we'll practice downward facing dog with hands on blocks, and those blocks will be against the wall. Bring the heels of your hands to the very edge of the blocks, and then lift up into dog pose. Keep the heels lifted, knees bent at first, and lift the pelvis way up high. Find an enormous height of the pelvis and start to pull the buttocks up and back away from the push of the hands. Think of the back surface of the sacrum lifting away from the low back and pull the centers of your thigh bones back and up. Lift the fronts of the legs. Now lift your toes and see if that helps you lift the fronts of the legs more. Pull the outer hips back and lengthen more through the armpits, through the forearms. Squeeze your upper arms towards each other. Pull those inner thighs and outer thighs back again. And you can start to straighten the legs here, pulling the buttocks back, pulling the thighs back. Let the head release. Keep active in the arms. And then bend your knees and come out of the pose. Now we'll practice Sukhasana with a twist. So please stack your blankets as you see here. Have a block behind your blankets and then cross at the centers of your shins with your right leg forward. And pull the flesh of your buttocks back behind you so there's more buttock flesh behind the sitting bones. And sit directly on the centers of the sitting bones. Fingertips grounding down into the blankets and take your shoulders back. Shoulders back, side ribs lifting, elbows back, thighs relaxing. And now rest your hands on your thighs and enjoy the uprightness of your spine and begin to twist to the left. So the right hand will come to the outer left knee, left hand on the block, which is behind the blankets, and use your hands to help you twist your rib cage around. Feel your low belly twisting to the left. Feel the rib cage twisting. Let the right belly twist to the left. Let the left belly twist to the left. Breathe here as you twist. And come back to center. Inhale in the center and then exhale, twist to the right. So let the abdomen settle back and turn. And then let the rib cage follow. Keep the shoulders hugging towards the backs of the shoulder sockets. Use that left hand, which is on the outer right knee. Turn the right ribs more to the right. Turn the left ribs around to the right. The abdomen recedes and rotates. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to deepen the twist. Coming back to center, and then switch the cross of the shins and bring the left shin in front. Inhale here, lifting the anterior spine. And exhale, take a twist to the left. Pull the right hand into the left knee to help you turn your right ribs around and the left ribs back. The abdomen settles back and lengthens. Turn at the latitude of the navel and the rib cage and the collarbones and then the head. And then inhale back to the center. And exhale, turn to the right. Use that left hand to pull your left ribs forward and the right ribs back. Really be on the center of the sitting bones. Lengthen the sides of your waist and turn a little more, turning the low belly, turn at the latitude of the navel, the bottom ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs, collarbones, and the head. And then inhale back to center and exhale here in the center. Now we'll practice Paschimottanasana with a blanket roll in the hip crease. So roll up your blanket as you see here. Extend your legs in front of you. With the blanket in your lap, pull the flesh of the buttocks back behind your sitting bones so you can sit tall in your sitting bones, and then pull the blanket roll deep into the hip crease. Lift the belly up and over the blanket roll and take hold of your feet with your hands. With the arms straight for a moment, inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, bend the elbows out to the sides and fold forward, letting the abdomen recede back towards the lumbar. Receive the blanket roll in your low belly here, letting space be there. And then lengthen the thoracic forward towards the feet. Let your thoracic spine be very long. Let the anterior surface of the thoracic spine be long. Press the thighs down. Connect your thigh bones deep into the hip sockets. Bend the elbows out to the sides and pull the sides of your rib cage forward. Relax and release the head. Stay active in the legs, open in the toes. See if you can find even more length here. Breathing as you stay very internal here, exploring the sensations you feel inside, exploring your breath. And then inhale and come out of the pose. For a moment, bring your fingertips behind you on the floor, shoulders back, open chest, and then release. Now fold your blanket for Malasana and stand in a forward bend with your heels up on the blanket, balls of the feet on the sticky mat, and then lower your hips down and let your trunk come between your knees. So you'll widen your knees just enough so that your rib cage can fit right between the knees, and let your spine be very round. Let the belly recede back towards the lumbar and lengthen. Stretch your arms forward and start to squeeze your knees into your armpits, into those outer armpits. Let your buttocks release down. Let your head and tailbone be heavy. And pull your inner heels towards each other and down. So those inner ankles are touching and the inner heels get very grounded into the blanket. And now you can wrap your arms around, so you'll internally rotate your arms. Reach your arms behind you and grab onto your heels. And here, let the head and tail become very heavy again. Low back, nice and round, belly receding, a nice even roundness in the spine. Breathing here. Slow down your exhalations. And then release the bind. Stretch your arms forward again. Let the upper buttocks release down. Let the arms extend. Let your rib cage sink down more, down between the knees. Squeeze your knees into those outer ribs even more. And then lift your trunk up and back and bring your knees together in front of your chest and pause here, wrapping your arms around the upper shins. Now we'll practice a supported fish with 2 blocks and have a strap nearby as well. Set yourself up like this with the blocks behind you. Adjust your pelvis so the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from the low back. And then start to lay back on one block on the medium height so the block is right underneath the bra line. And then another block will be supporting the head on the lowest height. So the block underneath your shoulder blades shouldn't be too low or too high. You have to find that place that's just right. And with bent knees, once again, adjust the flesh of the buttocks to pull away from the low back, to come under you. So the flesh of the buttocks moves towards the feet. And then grab the strap and stretch your arms overhead with the strap. And then extend out through the legs. And let the legs be active here. And let the abdomen settle like a sheet settling on a bed. Let the layers of the abdomen settle towards your back body. So the lumbar is settled back and long. Stretch through the arms. Keep the feet open here. And see if you can feel a sense of length and precision through the sides of your abdomen. Inhaling here and a smooth exhale. Follow the exhalation all the way to the bottom of the breath. And then an easy inhalation to fill the rib cage. Fill the lower ribs just as much as the upper ribs, the back ribs as much as the front ribs. And then bend your knees, bring your feet flat, bring the arms up and overhead. And then use your hands to help you out of the pose. And now we'll complete this practice with chair shavasana. Put the chair on your sticky mat and sit down close to the front of the chair. And then swing your legs up onto the chair and lay down. And please adjust the flesh of your buttocks to pull the flesh of your buttocks away from your low back. And then adjust the shoulders so your shoulder blades are settled nicely down your back, and let the arms relax. Let the legs be supported by the chair. Let the lower back be supported by the floor. And let your whole body relax and release down.